Hello friends, I'm Dr. Anuja Chopra. I'm from Ahmedabad and I'm here as a sponsored candidate from Mindray. Basically, I run my own private lab in Ahmedabad and I'm really thankful to Mindray for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and my journey from working for 12 years with corporates to starting my own setup. I would have loved to be there in person, but due to some personal commitments, I'm not able to join you. So my apologies for that, and I would like to resume with my presentation now. I'll be talking about the basic setup of a lab. Yeah, I'll be sharing some experiences about setting up a lab. I'm sure most of us sitting here are working well established and are working with good corporate hospitals or corporate labs. So you guys must be thinking, why do we go about the idea of setting up a private lab? Well, 2 years back, even I used to believe in the same philosophy that I would be happier doing a stable job rather than start an unsteady and unreliable thing called a business or a private lab. But as time passes, you realize that life gives you a lot of experiences, and your goals and your thoughts, they do change. Uh, 2 years back and earlier, life was good, practice was good, earnings were constant, and overall, there was nothing much to complain about. Then, uh, out of the blues, I was called and questioned about the mismatch in the reagent consumption versus the number of tests that were registered. I've had to do it uh, more than a couple of times for the same parameters. And then it was getting a bit too much and it really got onto my nerves. And then I just could not take it. I was actually struck by disbelief and panic that how can it happen to me? I've been with the organization for so long, and still I am being forced to explain why there is a mismatch. So, reality actually struck me that life in a corporate is not a bed of roses. And then I decided to quit. But yes, as the saying goes, people quit their boss, not their job. I always loved my job, and I did want to keep in touch with the subject. Having decided to quit, I was left in a position where I could not choose what to do. I did go around looking for another job, but then I realized with time that it's going to be the same everywhere. It's not going to change at all. And then I started looking for avenues. I actually sat and thought, why not start my own lab? Because people I interacted with offered me the position of a lab head, saying that I would be responsible for generating business in a new setup. And I decided, instead of doing it for a corporate, why not do it for myself? So I decided to go with it. And then I actually sat with a pen and paper, thinking what all would be the benefits of starting my own lab. One, of course, earning, comfort of working, a stability, an identity, some amount of fame, and lot of independence. That is what I expect from my own lab. And of course, it is always better to own a hut rather than rejoice in someone else's palace. Plan your second innings. I'm sure nobody would be happy hunting around for jobs and different avenues once you retire from a corporate. So this is the place that you are creating for yourself, where you would be able to sit as long as you want to work, and as many years and as many hours you want to give. Of course, before jumping into it, a sensible decision would be to compare and contrast, because as the saying goes, the grass always appears greener on the other side. Everything in life has pros and cons. Of course, a corporate job offers you a fixed income with shared responsibilities, a limited domain of work, fixed timings, liberty to take leave, and minimal or no multitasking required. Whereas the major disadvantage there being that you have to deal with non-medics who occupy the administrative positions, who understand nothing about your technicalities and quality control. They can only see the figures and the number of tests consumed against the number of samples registered. So quality definitely takes a backseat a lot of times. And there is no flexibility of timing. I'm sure most of us working in corporates would be working overtime. This is actually what happens when we work in corporates. When you think of a private lab, you are your own boss. You decide how much to do, what to do, and how to do. But the major disadvantage is that you are a one-man army running the show with no fixed pay, no fixed timing, and hell lot of multitasking, practically from peon to pathologist. So choose wisely when you are making a decision. But yes, once you take a decision, it's never too late to decide. And once you take a decision, you have to resolve to fight the circumstances. You become ready to face the present and the future. So once the decision is made, you have to plan how to go about it. Sit with a pen and paper and chalk it out. Till now, you were a part of the problem. Now you have to become the solution itself, if not a part of it. Have a business plan. Decide on the location of the lab. Prefer to have it as close to your residence as possible. That saves you the hassle of traveling through the traffic. Choose an area where there is a relative vacuum. Ensure visibility of the lab. Work out the rent of the place that you are tentatively deciding on. And then choose the right infrastructure and instrumentation. All you need to set up a lab is finance and human resource. So when you are making the financial calculations, calculate the cost of rent, furniture, instrumentation, safety measures, that is fire safety, CCTV cameras, UPS and power backup, the reporting software, staff salaries, the overhead expenses, insurance, legal and accounting fees. Also count the recurring expenses that you expect, that is the rent, reagent cost, cost of maintaining quality of the reports, staff salaries, the overhead expenses, and the insurance and legal accounting fees. These would be repeated monthly or annually depending on the nature of the expense. So whenever you are selecting the instrument, you have to choose wisely, because every choice you make is creating your future. So be very, very clear in what you want. First, decide clearly how much to perform in-house and how much to outsource right at the outset. Not everything can be performed in-house because the number of tests that you are expecting could be low in certain parameters. Select the instruments that can meet your requirements for at least 3 to 5 years. Neither too high-end complex instruments nor too downcast, because upgrade is possible at any point in time. Then you talk about the instruments, it does not stop at the hematology and biochemistry analyzers. Centrifuge, pipettes, incubator, hot air oven, computers, printers, all that is required in the lab are also included in the same category. When you're ordering, have a checklist of the instruments and consumables. Don't miss out on the basics like glassware, tips, disposable slides, and the rest. Next thing that you would need is a software. Choose a software which suits your needs. Preferably, you should have facilities for accounting, interface, audit trail also. Remember, changing softwares is not an easy task. It disrupts your system for at least a day or two before things fall back into place. May even take a week or even longer. So choose wisely. Other important things that you need to take care of are choosing a name of the lab, a logo suitable to the name, a tagline if required, stationery request book and visiting card designing, and customizing a price list and offers for your lab. And not to forget, you also need to take care of the fire safety, biomedical waste disposal contract. You need to have a lab insurance and a UPS and a power backup. The next thing we require is human resource. Choose your staff wisely. Set a budget at the outset and clarify right at in the first meeting that the persons who would be appointed would be doing multitasking. You cannot afford to have multiple people in the beginning for the same small task. Once all this is done, you are ready to go. Once your lab gets rolling, do think of accreditations, because accreditations give some authenticity to the lab, and they also give you more money when you're dealing with insurance and government organizations. Whatever we do does come with lot of challenges. So when you set up, you have too many things on your plate. You are actually a multifaceted personality. You are a busy professional, a doctor, a spouse, a parent, a child, a human, and a lab owner. You have to manage the problems, focus on the strategies, avoid interruptions, and limit the wastage of resources. One of the many challenges that you are likely to face is staff shortage. Particularly in critical times, you have to be prepared to work right from peon to pathologist. There would be days when you would be taking out the trash yourself because there is no housekeeping. Short material supplies is a major challenge because a lot of supplies are diverted to the bigger corporate clients in times of crisis. Like in COVID times, the smaller setups were even struggling for Vacutainers and D-dimer kits. Another challenge that you face in the early initial days is maintaining of quality as per the guidelines. Because of the low sample load, the high cost of the quality, the QC materials, and the reagent that you are consuming each QC test run. On top of this, we also have to face a competition, a tough competition with the technician run labs, because they are the ones who would be running the lab using a semi-automated biochemistry analyzer. Most of them would actually be doing a sync test and would be offering a huge referral. And with the level of quality you try to follow, it is impossible to match their levels. A shocking fact in India is that untrained medical professionals are much more than the qualified medical doctors by at least 10:1. And on top of that, you have to manage your referring pool, manage the insurance companies, especially if you want to have and maintain cashless tie-ups, manage NABL, managing your own battered domestic and social life. And as a lab owner, you're very worried about staff salaries, EMIs, rent, and how long you will be able to pull on like this. But do you think the future is so bleak? I don't. Healthcare is an essential service and ours is not a luxury or an optional service. COVID or no COVID, people will need tests and not everyone is satisfied with the lab in their neighborhood. So sooner or later, people will be looking for options, and that is where you will get a place to stand. Of course, the initial days are very, very disheartening. There will be days when you have zero registrations happening in the lab, and you end up not even getting enough money to pay the rent, what to talk of the staff salaries and the other expenses. but no defeat is final until you yourself give up. Considering the worst case scenarios when you set up a lab, you can seriously think about group practice, especially if you are in the roaming phase. You can tie up with a corporate or sell it out to a corporate. And if you are absolutely fed up and you still feel that I do not want to continue with this, the option of going back to the job is always open. But do not lose faith. Ever since the story was written, David has always defeated Goliath, and we too will come out of this crisis stronger, more experienced, and wiser. We will fight and we will win. Thanks for being a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.